What is going on, everybody, man? King Recon here. Guys, I'm so excited to once again be talking about the awesome sauce of Bleach, man. And I was gonna wait until Call of Duty World War II was released in order to start making Bleach videos again, but I decided, you know what, I have an idea for a brand new a segment that I want to introduce to the channel, and I'm not even sure what I want to call it yet. I'm not sure what I want this to become, but I know that I want to go back here on Crunchyroll's official, on their website. I was looking through the seasons, and I was like, man, I have an idea, man. I have something I want to do here in terms of the Bleach series, and I just so I can go back and I can just look at these episodes fondly, and whether it be through memories or through actually being really, really well done episodes. And I believe that all of these episodes, from episode 1 to episode 366, all of them are at the very least go from, as you see right here on the right, from all-time goat sauce / biblical sauce to okay sauce. Now, you guys have heard me say these terms all the time in my videos, but I at the very least want to clarify what I mean whenever it comes to two of them. The first one, all-time goat sauce / biblical sauce, those are usually the ones that I refer to as like my all-time greats in terms of, still to this very day, I think that these are some of the best that anime has to offer, or some of the best that anything has to offer, period. And Bleach does have some of those, no question. And I've never really watched an episode that goes below okay sauce, like in terms of Bleach. There's a lot of episodes that I absolutely love. There's a lot of episodes that I don't love as much as others, and there's a lot of episodes that I like, but there's no episode that I dislike. No episode. I can sit there and watch almost every single episode in Bleach, and at least be somewhat entertained to, by God, hyped and getting into like somewhere, getting ready to go. So let's go ahead and start off with the first season here, man. Now, when we look here, bro, at episode 1, man, I mean, I can't give it anything less than a great sauce, bro. It's the first episode of Bleach, man. It's the episode that you just never forget watching. It's such an iconic scene. You know, when Rukia gives gives Ichigo her abilities. Starts off the entire series. Ichigo comes out with that iconic, first Zanpakuto, bro. Just yeah. Goes, now you feel like number 1, and then it shows the stats right after that, man. Even before that, it was still a really solid episode up until that point, the way that it was building up to everything and whatnot. I still think the very first episode was done better in the anime than it was done in the manga. There's a lot about Bleach that I think was better in the anime than it was in the manga. But specifically, like a lot of like these beginning parts, it kind of goes half and half, because there's some that I enjoy as much as manga, there's some that I enjoy way more in one version or the other. But for sure, the arc or the very first chapter / episode, it's just the memories, man. The memories, you hear that Miyakataya Sora no Shigashi no Hikari, and you are like, whenever you just feel nostalgic and you can't help it. That, and that's like brought like instinctively, like subconsciously, you will go like it whenever you hear something from back then, like an old tune, a VCR going in, for me, like the PlayStation 1 logo, or the PlayStation 1 startup screen, the Super Nintendo startup screen, like a Sega Genesis startup screen, like those type of things, like they give me nostalgia, man. But in terms of anime, like that Bleach, the first Bleach opening, like the first like 7 Bleach openings, honestly, get me really nostalgic. But the first one, I mean, come on, bro, it's the first one, and that was where it started all, man. So episode 1 for sure gets a great sauce for me, and I love that episode so much. For the next part, episodes 2 and 3, those to me are equal to their counterparts in the manga. However, episode 2 to me gets a great sauce, and episode 3 to me gets a great sauce. I love this portion of the series. I love the questions that Ichigo asks, and the stuff that he presents in episode 2, to where he's basically saying, I'm not going to be a hero that's going to go out here and save all these people. I'm just going to save the ones that are in front of me. I can't be Superman. I can't be Superman. I can just be me. But I know that I can't just let anyone who's in front of me just die. But I can't promise you that I'm just going to go around saving random people just for the hell of it. And I was like, I love that, man. I love that, because right off the bat, you establish Ichigo's character. That he's not just going to be some hero. He's not. But he is going to protect whatever's in front of him. And that's always been a main basis of his character, even until the end of the very end of the series. That was established here in episode 2. I really enjoyed that episode. The comedy in these early episodes is out of this world. Episode 2 is really good. Episode 3 was the very first episode where I really became emotionally invested into the story. and it didn't really capture me like that again up until episode 9. Like that was the next time it really captured me like that, /8/7 for that entire Memories of the Rain arc. But episode 3 was like the very first part of, I always remember hearing Creeping with the Shadows in that episode. Nothing can be explained, and all those like really, really good Will of the Heart, like all those really good early OSTs, first showing up in this episode. And they, it just delivered, man. It just delivered. I really love the story between Sora and Orihime, but it was just done so well, and I had never seen anything like that up until that point. And it was just, I love episode 3. Episode 3 is episode 2. Out of like the first like 20 episodes of Bleach are up there as like some of my favorite portions to rewatch for sure. All right, now so for episodes 4 and 6, or for episodes 4 and 5, these in particular I enjoyed more than the manga. They were solid in the anime. Like I give episode 4 a good sauce. I give episode 5 a good sauce as well, but they weren't. I remember first watching them and like going back and I always get like the early Bleach vibes and like the nostalgia gets to me, and like it was really, really funny. Episode 5 is hilarious, but I found myself being more emotionally invested whenever I reread it in the manga than I did whenever I watched it in the anime. So I think I give those a good sauce. Like, it's those that I definitely love rewatching, but I don't love it as much as I do like an episode 2 or an episode 3. Now, here for the Kon and Ichigo stuff, man. Episode 6 and episode 7. Episode 6 is legendary to me, specifically for the jokes that I had between me and my cousin. When me and my cousin first watched this, oh man, dude, we were dying of laughter, yo. Kon, for like a week straight, me and my cousin were just saying nonstop like his jokes to each other, man. Like, I love Kon, man. Episode 6 gets a good sauce. Episode 7 gets a great sauce. I love the end of Ichigo versus Kon. I love the explanation of the mod soul. I love how interested now you are in Kisuke and his group because everything's going on. The questions are being raised. But the best part about episode 7, which leads into probably my favorite portion of the first 20 episodes, aside from what happens a little later on, is episode 7 introduces the idea of finally showcasing Ichigo's story. Because up until this point, we had been seeing Ichigo go out through the struggles of these other people, of his friends, or of these people that will become his friends. But we've never actually seen him showcase, or we've never seen Kubo, or this is the Bleach story, actually showcase Ichigo's backstory, or why he fights, or anything around those lines. Even though it's a little hinted at every now and then, but it's never really touched upon. And I love how it just shows him going throughout everybody else's struggles, but now it's his turn. And he doesn't like anyone being involved in his struggles. He just wishes that everyone else that would just go away for that day, and that he himself could just have that day to himself in order to really go through that entire portion by himself. And it's a really, really relatable scene, especially for me at that time, whenever I first watched this 10 years ago. And I was going through a lot of that as well. And you don't want to bother anybody with your problems. And that was extremely relatable, because up until that point I don't think I'd ever really seen that in a series before. Like, usually like people really help, like, let their friends help them through a lot of situations. But Ichigo was the first, or this Memories of the Rain arc was really the first time that I ever saw a character that I could really truly relate with, in terms of like, yeah, this guy, he just doesn't want anybody else to be bothered by what he's feeling. And I could really relate to that, man. So episode 7, starting off with a mystery, and with Tatsuki telling Orihime, like, he never attends on June 17th every single year. I love that scene whenever they say, oh, what day is tomorrow? 17th. Oh, it looks like Ichigo's not gonna show up to school tomorrow, and it has that spooky music in the background where you're like, yo, what's going on here? So episode 7 is a great sauce. Episode 8 is also a great sauce. Really, really enjoyed that episode. Really enjoyed the setup in that episode, the music being used in that episode, and the setup to the legendary episode 9. Episode 9 is going to get the first fantastic sauce in Bleach for me. This episode is phenomenal. This episode is what made me a huge fan of this series. I love this episode. I love this episode so much I still watch it to this day. I rewatch it every year, at least like once, man. It's just one of those episodes I could just sit down at any given time and just watch. And I love the manga portion of this arc. Memories of the Rain in the manga is really, really good. But the anime, with the soundtracks when Will of the Heart is playing, I mean, yo. Everything from the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode, with Ichigo and the Grand Fisher's action scenes to Ichigo and his voice actor, both Johnny Young, Johnny Young Bosch in this episode is killing it, man. He even states, like in later interviews, about how much this early stuff still affects him to this day, of how emotional he actually got while recording these lines in episode 9. And you're like, yo, man, like I love the Grand Fisher stuff, man. When Masaki's in front of him. And then the first time you hear Ukitake's speech about 2 types of battles, and then the end of the episode with Ichigo and his dad, bro. You know, Ichigo finally tells Rukia, like, now he wants to continue doing this as a Soul Reaper. Like, he wants to continue doing it, man. I'm like, yo, man, it was really the first time in Bleach where I was like, yo, I'm really invested. I'm really invested in terms of the story, man. Like, the story is really hooking me, man. So up until this point, I didn't really know like what my taste was. I was just watching whatever I thought was good, but I was really, really invested at the time, man. And I'll always remember episode 9 as being like the start of my Bleach tardom, of me being a Bleach tard. So here we're going to episode 10. Episode 10, I kind of want to give this great sauce, man. I think the reason why is because it stands so good as a standalone episode that Don Kanonji. Usually whenever somebody has like their own episode, you don't really remember them after that. Don Kanonji, I remembered him for like the rest of the series, up until he showed up again. And it was because of how well done this episode was. So I kind of want to give episode 10 a great sauce, man. I really, really enjoyed episode 10. Now here we go, man. Now this stuff right here is great. I think everything from here on out is gonna be amazing to me. So episode 11, introduction of Uryu, man. This episode in particular, I think gets a good sauce from me, but it's the introduction of Uryu and like everything's setting up like, okay, a brand new, you're just raising new questions. Starting off with this episode, and I really, really like the setup with this first episode here, man. So episode 11, episode 12, legendary episode. Episode 12 and episode 13 both get great sauces for me. Because whenever you look back at Chad and Orihime and the start of their characterization and the start of like what it was for them to grow into what they eventually started becoming here in the Soul Society arc, this is where it all started. Red Armor the Giant and then Orihime. Oh man, I love that scene in episode 13, bro. I love that scene. You know what scene I'm talking about? Orihime, man. And you see the hair flowing, bro. Both episode 12 and episode 13, from both an emotional standpoint and from a character standpoint, both great episodes. Episode 14, fantastic sauce. Period. I go back to this episode every single time I rewatch this, any portion of this, man. I'll never forget, me and my boy Jay Sean, I bring up the story all the time, but it's just a story I never get tired of. Me and my boy Jay Sean, when we first watched this episode, and I saw Ichigo cut up the Minos Grande, I was telling everybody in school that Ichigo would destroy Goku. I mean, and that's a shoot. I really did say that. Of course, looking back at it now, I was pretty stupid. But, that's how much I was loving this series at the time. And, just everything with the Minos Grande, how much effort they had to take it out. And I'm an old school wrestling fan, man. You introduce like this top figure that it seems impossible to beat. And when somebody actually gets to beat him, or at least like fatally injure him, but doesn't take him out, like, that stuff is hype, man. And we guess first time we ever get to see like a glimpse of the Getsuga Tensho, just seeing Ichigo and Uryu fighting back to back and together, seeing more insight into Uryu's actual character and why it is that he feels this way towards the Soul Reapers. Ichigo's more of his character coming out whenever he's backlashing back at Uryu, telling him how stupid he is and how he should be doing this. And how you should realize that your grandfather would be against what you're doing right now. And I love episode 14, man. Episode 4 freaking teen. The first time we hear of the Royal Guard. I always went back to this scene for so many things, man. This episode was so freaking awesome. And I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Now here we go, bro. This is where it starts getting juicy, man. Episode 15. Episode 15 to me is a great sauce. It really is. Episode 15 is a phenomenal episode for Rukia. I love this episode for the way that it sets up the tone for the upcoming arc. Up until this point, it had been a monster of the week type of episodic style of storytelling. But episode 15 really focused on, Rukia and how out of place that she felt here in the real world. And whenever by the end of the episode you see that she's run off and you see Renji and Byakuya, I mean, I love episode 15 from an emotional standpoint. It's really good. Episode 16, great sauce. No question, no question. You know, the introduction of Byakuya and Renji, and seeing, you know, when Ichigo actually got there, man, and when Uryu and Kisuke, oh, greatness, man, greatness. Episode 17 is a fantastic sauce, no question. I have never, well, I'm not gonna say I have never, but up until this point, I had never watched an episode that made me want to watch the episode so bad that I was like dying to watch it, man. Because episode 16 left me with a cliffhanger, but nothing like episode 17. Episode 17, I was shook. Episode 17, I was shook, man. Episode 16, like I said, left me with a massive cliffhanger. But 17, what? Oh, man, I could not wait to watch the rest of the arc, man. Amazing. Just this one episode set up the rest of the arc perfectly. And I mean, I was so dumbfounded at the time. Like I said, I'd never seen anything like this before. So I actually thought like Rukia betrayed them, man. I was like, why? Like I felt like Ichigo, man. Like I was like, bro, what's going on here? And the episode ends with Kisuke telling me he's gonna train him. Oh, episode 17 is so good, man. That entire, when Ichigo goes in and he's facing Renji, bro, and Byakuya has to stop him and he's holding half the blade. Get out of here, man. Legendary. And then episode 18 is that's a good sauce. It was mainly a training episode. Episode 19, oh, great sauce, man. Great sauce. No, screw that. Fantastic. No. Great sauce. I gotta keep my calm. Great sauce of an episode, man. I love when he pops out, bro, with the mask. His entire dialogue with him and Zangetsu was so good, man. So good. God. And when he pulls it up, call my name, Zangetsu. Episode 19 and 20 are both great sauces, man. Both great sauces. Love these episodes. And, you just came to be more and more interested on Kisuke. But at the same time, it's like Kubo, he was setting so many threads up here. But the main thing was everyone's ready to get to the Soul Society arc. Everyone's ready to get to Soul Society to rescue Rukia. And this was the beginning of that, man. So the first 20 episodes, man, let's just go back and look. I think I gave episode 1, I gave it a great, 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 good, 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 great, 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 good, great, great, fantastic. And I'll give some fantastic too. 2 fantastic sauces. No, 3. 1, 2, 3 fantastic sauces. Rest of them up here. This one's a good. So I gave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 good. Or great. 12 great. And 3 fantastic sauces, man. That's not bad at all, bro. That's not bad at all for the first 20 episodes of Bleach, man. It just shows you how much I I really look back on these episodes, on the first 20 episodes, as being like a massive part of why I started like really loving this series. And of course, man, here starting up in the next arc, man, you're gonna be seeing a lot more fantastic sauces, bro. I can promise you that. But yeah, man, no question. First 20 episodes of Bleach have a really special place in my heart. I mean, just looking back on a lot of these episodes, and episode 17, I remember Kadesh Flow once made a song. He said, remember, it started off with "Remember Bleach episode 17." That was the episode that transformed everything, and it's so true, because episode 17 and onward, like, that changed the entire series. Up until then, like I'd said, it was like a more of like a monster of the week type of thing, very episodic. But after episode 17, everything changed. Everything changed, man. And honestly, Kubo made a fantastic decision. I love episode 17, man. Ichigo dies. Legendary episode, bro. I'd never seen someone be that overpowered, man. Like, he was down and out, man. He was betrayed. And I was like, man, what is gonna happen next? It's like that drive. Like, I wanna find out what happens next. But a lot of these episodes are really good. But episodes 9, 14, and 17, I love a lot, man. I really do. Like 9, I think out of all of these, I think 9 is still just on a personal standpoint, because 9 was the first time I really like told myself like this series is something special. And then 14 and 17 was just solidifying that fact that how much I love this series, man. Shout out to Adult Swim for allowing me to watch this greatness. But every single one of these, none of them was below good. You know, that's saying something for the first 20 episodes in the series, which a lot of people consider to be like the worst part of Bleach, which to me it's not. To me, like the first 20 are freaking awesome. But just to know that it's the first 20 are, are all good and above. That's awesome, man. That's saying something. Just a quick shout out to episode 15, man. I love episode 15 for what it does for Rukia. Like the whole sense of not belonging, it like screams that song, man. Gosh, and it sets up the tone so perfectly for the next arc. Not belonging in a place, so you escape. And it's like, man, dude, like I love it. I love just everything about the first 20 episodes. But we're gonna see what this leads into here with the next arc, man. And what I'm planning to do next video is cover all the entire Soul Society saga, from 21 to 63. I'll be doing next episode or next video. If you guys like this type of video, man, you just let me know. If you enjoy these type of videos, I might start doing these videos for everything. For not just Bleach, but for Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, man. But I want to start off with Bleach first because it's the greatness. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, man. I just wanted to do this for the for the first 20 episodes, or for the, since it's been a year since Bleach ended, man. I wanted to talk about Bleach on this day, but I love these episodes, man. They were freaking awesome sauce, yo. The Memories of the Rain arc is so good, man. And the Orihime and Sora stuff, man. Man, but greatness, man. Miyakataya Sonanoi. And you always remember the start as nobody knows who I really am. I've never felt this empty before. And it's legendary, man. Come on.